comes for Pablo Hernandez, and Pablo Hernandez scores a goal for Leeds United! Oh!
Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Today's video is a match reaction to Chelsea versus Leeds at Elland Road, where the game finished 0-0. So, as we usually do, we'll talk about any squad changes before we go into the game. Rodrigo didn't start, which after coming back from injury, scoring a couple of goals in the 23s, I thought he would actually start in this game over Roberts, given the opposition we were playing and the level of their team. But as we'll come on to, that was probably the correct decision given how Roberts played today. Cooper wasn't in the squad at all, and I'm not actually sure whether anything has been said about that yet, whether it's been given a reason why. But Llorente and Struijk started at centre-back, and as I'll also get onto, those two were excellent together. On the 5th minute, I thought it was going to be an early goal for Chelsea, because Havertz had a shot that was deflected by a Leeds player and it bounced just in front of Meslier on the goal line, so we got off a little bit luckily with that one. 17 seconds after that chance, Rafinha plays Bamford through. Bamford's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, lays across for an open goal for Roberts in a 2-on-1 situation. Roberts puts it in the back of the net, but Bamford's called back for offside. But that was impressive from Leeds. A 17-second counter-attack was something that was excellent, really. On the 10th minute, Elland cleared a ball straight against Llorente's chest. It swung over Meslier, hit the bar, bounced straight back into Melier's arms, and I think that makes up for the Adama Traore goal, the own goal of Meslier against Wolves. I think that's karma balancing out. About 15 minutes in, I just thought that Pulisic had the beating of Alioski every time. He would just knock it past him and run, and I just thought it was something to be aware of for the rest of the game, because if they can get down that side and whip it in, then they always had a chance of scoring, because we're not always the best aerially. Having said that, I think that would have been a lot better for them if they'd had Giroud on or Abraham. Abraham's obviously injured at the moment with a recurring ankle injury, but Giroud, he obviously played against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League and they won him for the second leg, so that'll be why he's rested today, given that he's 34. But I think we potentially would have lost that game if Giroud was playing, just because of the aerial threat he is. I feel like one of those corners where they didn't really worry us. I feel like one of those could have gone in if Giroud was in the box. Aerially, he's a lot better than anybody else that they had in the team. In the 16th minute, Bamford's running across the box, on the outside of the box, but there's the Chelsea defence are in the box, holding a good line, defending against him. Bamford lays it off to Roberts. Roberts takes a little touch to the side and he just chips a shot. It's something to be said for placing your shots rather than blasting them, because I think if he'd have blasted them there, it probably would have been blocked, given the height it would have had to be for a blast. But what he did is he sort of chipped the ball over the defenders, over the keeper, hit the upright, the top right-hand corner of the post, and bounced down for Mendy to catch. On second reflection of it, on the replays, Mendy got what was a minute touch on it, but I think it might have dropped under the crossbar if he hadn't have. Just as he was leaning back, he just tipped it. The ball sort of clips his fingers like that, and just that slight thing, he's just pushed it and it's just hit the bar and come back down again. And I thought that could have been a fantastic goal from the edge of the box for Roberts, and it was the start of sort of his good contributions to the game, really. He'd already scored that tap-in from Bamford, but it was a continuation then of his good contributions in this game. We had a couple of crosses in the first half, whipped in from the left-hand side, one of them by Harrison, one of them by Dallas, both cleared very effectively by Rudiger, and I just didn't really see us getting in that way. Bamford had to go off in the 35th minute. From about the 30th minute, Bamford had gone up for a header with Rudiger. Bamford's hip had collided with Rudiger's hip, and Bamford was really struggling to walk at first. Spent a little bit of time on the touchline, and then he came back on, and just the way he was moving, it wasn't right. He couldn't sprint, he was jogging and sort of hobbling everywhere, so the decision was made to take him off. and he was replaced by Rodrigo, who I thought should have started the game. But on second thoughts, when Rodrigo came on, given that he was playing in the striker role, he wasn't as effective as he can be from that number 10 role, which is why I think later in the game, in the second half, Rodrigo went into that number 10 role and Roberts went up front before, as I'll talk about later, Rodrigo was taken off again. For about 7 or 8 minutes after Bamford was taken off, actually, Chelsea had a period of sustained possession and chances where a lot of their chances were just into Mellier's midriff, but they were creating the opportunities to take those chances. And it all really culminated at the end of the first half with a ball bouncing for Havertz on the right hand side of the box, him swivelling and volleying it, and it just going straight into Mellier's midriff, and Meslier just being able to save it comfortably. So that was the first half at 0-0, which I thought at the time, great result to get into half-time against this Tuchel Chelsea side, and something to definitely build on in that second half, where I thought that maybe we could have gone for a win in this game, but before kick-off I would have said Chelsea all the way, we're going to win this. So now into the second half, it was a bit of a similar story to the end of the first half, really, with Havertz having a shot in the box. Ball falls to him, and it was a bit of a weird one because Phillips was tracking him, but then Phillips almost just decided that he wasn't going to track him anymore. And what he did was he dropped off him, backpedaled across the box as if to anticipate a cross, but it left Havertz on his own, and Llorente had to make a darting sprint towards him and to try and get a block in, which he didn't quite manage, but Havertz's shot was blasted straight at Meslier, who was able to just do one of those straight at you, tip over the bar. About 5 minutes after that chance, Ziyech whipped one in with his left foot from the right hand side of the box, and another Havertz header, but this time it was well defended by Ayling. Ayling got his body in between Havertz and the goal and just did enough to put him off, so that Havertz's header was very tame and just bounced onto the floor once and into Mellier's hands. Now, our best chance of the game came after that. In the 55th minute, the ball dropped in the box for Rafinha with his back to goal, so he swiveled and hit it on the half volley. And what's happened is that Mendy has come across his line, almost anticipating the type of save he's going to make, so he thinks he's going to have to dive away to his bottom corner, but it comes back the opposite direction to where he thought it was going to go, so he has to totally readjust his body when he's diving like that and just pull a save out like that with his other hand, and it was an absolutely brilliant save. On another day, Rafinha hits that shot harder and he's got no chance of saving it, but as it was actually a really, really good save from Mendy. In the 62nd minute, Chilwell is in on the left-hand side and he just toe pokes wide. What I think put him off was the fact that Harrison had made a run from his right wing position and he'd tracked all the way back to get in front of Chilwell, and he was running across him as he took the shot, and I think that was just enough to put off Chilwell, and what Chilwell did was a sort of sliced toe poke wide of the mark. The next 10 minutes was the most notable things, really, with the substitutions. Harrison came off. He hadn't had a totally effective game. He hadn't really been able to get into it totally. I think on one side he did swap wings at one point, but on one side he's got Azpilicueta, who's a very physical defender and good positional defender, so he gets in the way and he won't attack too much, so you don't really get that opportunity to get in behind him. On the other side, you've got Chilwell, who we all know is an excellent tackler, and going forward as well, he's very good, so that pins you back as a wide man if you've got to track back and mark your man, which we know that Bielsa wants because he loves his man marking system. So Harrison wasn't fantastic in that game and was replaced by Costa. Costa came on and had a bit of an instant impact where he took on his man in the box and picked out a pass that we didn't really take advantage of, but it was a promising sign from him. 68th minute, Timo Werner came on and Reece James came on for Pulisic and Ziyech, who had... Ziyech had been a little bit ineffectual, I think, because of the position he was playing. He was kind of marked out the game by Phillips a lot of the time, who was excellent today. And Pulisic, although he had the beating of Alioski a lot of the time, I think he probably, Tuchel wants to save him for the Champions League game on Wednesday night and give him a little bit of a rest, just so that he doesn't get an injury or something. 77th minute, another chance for Leeds, cut back by Rafinha, Diego Llorente on the edge of the box. He drills one low and a Chelsea defender deflects it over the bar. In the 78th minute, Rodrigo was taken off again for Click to come on. But if you remember what I said in the first half, Rodrigo came on to replace Bamford when Bamford got injured, so Rodrigo had been subbed on and off again. Now, somebody said to me on Twitter, apologies, I can't remember who it actually was, but they said, given the position that Rodrigo plays in that striker role, if he's been ineffectual for about 60 minutes, then it's not unheard of for strikers to get taken off. Okay, I accept that point. This is what I said to him on Twitter as well. Is I accept that point, and maybe that is the case, and I'm not totally surprised by the fact that Bielsa's taken a player off that he's brought on as a substitute. What I'm more surprised by is the fact that because Bamford had got injured, we didn't have an out-and-out striker in the squad. So you bring on Spain's number 9 and you take him off again so that Roberts could go up top. And don't get me wrong, Roberts had a good game today, but I don't think he's got it in him to be a striker. He's not got that. I don't think he's got that conviction to totally go for the ball, totally commit to it. A lot of the time he'll slow down and he'll do a few step overs and look for a pass, which is fair enough because he usually plays in that sort of number 10 role. But I just thought taking Rodrigo off was a little bit of a strange one, and Rodrigo must have thought so too, because you could see him on the cameras on the coverage that he was looking over, and he was very confused as to why he was being taken off. In the 80th minute, Hudson-Odoi came on for Mount, I think it was. He was slipped in almost immediately and nearly scored, but it was offside, so it wouldn't have counted even if he did put it in the back of the net. And after that, the only notable thing that happened was when Alioski made that tackle on Reece James in the box, and they both slid into the camera, and I just thought it gave a whole new meaning to Janicam. He looked like he hurt himself a little bit in that challenge, to be fair, but I think he got up after that and carried on, and he was alright. A couple of things that I want to point out from the game. Usually people pick a man of the match, but in my videos from now on, I think I'm going to start picking out an important point of the match, a key point of the match, something that worked well, that helped Leeds towards securing a point or 3 points, or even that they did well in a loss. So today it's actually going to be the way that 3 players played together, and that is Struijk, Llorente and Phillips. That triangle in the lower midfield and the 2 centre-backs was excellent today. They were very strong, very commanding, very calm on the ball, considering the high press that Chelsea had. One thing I would have liked to see from Llorente a little bit more is, I've talked about in previous weeks, it's something that I love that he does, is when teams are high pressing, he takes a step out with the ball and he just pings one low across the ground into strikers' feet, and it just relieves that pressure and oftentimes actually creates good opportunity to counter-attack. But other than that, defensively, they were very strong today. Struijk looks very assured for his age. He's getting better game by game in that centre-back position. And I just thought that those 3 today, Phillips breaking up the play, playing some good short passes, just linking up the play and keeping things ticking over. I thought those 3 were very good today. I thought our point at home against Chelsea is actually a really good result today. It just stops that rot, really. The fact that we've lost a few on the bounce, to end it, really, that losing streak with a point against Chelsea is really something to build on for the next few games, and hopefully we can get some more wins on the board. We didn't concede a corner today, which is good, but because we did against West Ham, there's actually an article on Leeds Lately website at the moment, which you'll find a link to in the description, and it's talking about how we can defend corners better, how to stop them, And then it talks about Bielsa's man marking system versus a zonal marking system when defending corners. So if you want to check that out, that's on the Leeds Lately website. If you want to follow me on Twitter, that's Leeds_Lately. If you want to subscribe down below, then that would help me out massively because we're trying to get to 50 subscribers. Thanks for watching. See you next time.